Now loading.
After almost 25 years on the sideline, I could not be more excited to get involved in a project like this. It seems like this is a victory lap for Klopp, and not even just based on his accomplishments at Liverpool, where he won everything from the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, UEFA Super Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, and EFL Cup. It's also about the 2 league titles with Dortmund in 2011 and 2012, and even his experience as manager at Mainz, leading them to promotion to the Bundesliga from the 2nd division in 2004, and putting them in a position to be competitive within the Bundesliga even to this day. Red Bull was co-founded by Dietrich Mateschitz and Chao Jovenier in 1987, where it was introduced in Austria, branded as an energy drink that could enhance mental and physical performance. For context, in the pop culture world in 87, the Bad album was out by Michael Jackson, who all defeated Bayern Munich in the 87 European Cup final. Ruud Gullit won the Ballon d'Or. Zelda 2 was out, the RoboCop movie was out, and Christian Lacroix debuted his Haute Couture show. At its core, Red Bull is an energy drinks company, and in 97, 10 years after the company was founded, saw the debut of the Red Bull Gives You Wings slogan. The commercials were centered around the idea of Red Bull's energy boost metaphorically giving you wings, strengthening your physical and mental abilities. The cartoon characters became iconic because they had a simple style and were placed in funny scenarios, as well as having distinctive and digestible messaging. The Red Bull Gives You Wings slogan has had amazing longevity in advertising and is a symbol of energy and adventure. It's up there with McDonald's I'm Loving It as far as just slogans that have stood the test of time and have tapped into several generations. They're not a drink sports company, but they've done a great job of integrating themselves within sports, initially through niche and extreme sports in the late 80s and 90s that were in line with their identity, like paragliding, windsurfing, mountain biking, snowboarding and skiing, motorsports like motocross, rally racing, and later Formula One, and even cliff diving. These sports were a perfect fit for Red Bull as they were extreme and fast-paced. They laid the foundation for the brand's identity, and they eventually moved into football. Red Bull took a different approach to entering football by buying the club, rebranding it, and then managing the entire club, using these teams to expand the brand, creating a Red Bull football ecosystem, and promoting its high-energy ethos. In 2005, Red Bull bought SV Austria Salzburg, an Austrian team with a rich history but not much success. Red Bull rebranded the team as FC Red Bull Salzburg, giving it red and white colors and a new emblem including the Red Bull logo, building a Red Bull arena and investing in player development. In 2006, Red Bull bought the New York Metro Stars, an MLS team in the US, and rebranded it as the New York Red Bulls, which allowed them to grow a presence in the US. In 2009, Red Bull entered German football by buying 5th division club SSV Markranstädt and established a new club, RB Leipzig. In Germany, there's a 50+1 rule where 51% of the football club is owned by its season ticket members and fans, allowing them to hold majority voting rights rather than outside investors and corporations having too much control over the club. This is why RB stands for Raisin Bull Sport rather than Red Bull, but Red Bull's identity is still visible in its logo and team colors. RB Leipzig reached the Bundesliga in 7 years due to Red Bull investing in infrastructure, scouting, and player development. Red Bull received backlash from German fans as it was seen as the commercialization of the club. In 2019, Red Bull partnered with Club Atlético Bragantino, an existing Brazilian team that had potential to progress to the next level. The club was rebranded as Red Bull Bragantino, and the investments that Red Bull made helped elevate the club to compete in Campeonato Brasileiro Serie A. So what does this even mean for Jürgen Klopp? He'll begin his next chapter as Red Bull's head of global soccer on January 1st, 2025. Klopp will advise Red Bull clubs on matters including coaching, player development, and transfers. During his last season with Liverpool, it did feel like Klopp was burnt out from the intensity of being Liverpool's manager. Sometimes you need to find new inspiration.
Whenever the inspiration will find you, you have to find it.
After moving away from managing, probably temporarily, he's in a place where he has a lot of knowledge and experiences that he can offer and give people access to. This will be the coaches across Red Bull's portfolio of football clubs. Klopp is finding a new home for his football brain to live as head of global soccer of Red Bull, sharing his strategies and expertise. I think this is going to take his legacy to even greater heights because he can now spread his football DNA across Red Bull's football clubs. Klopp has received some backlash for his move to Red Bull, being seen as a sellout, joining a brand that some say has commercialized the German club RB Leipzig. At the same time, you have to respect someone putting their happiness first and doing what's best for them. Red Bull having Klopp working across their sports clubs will actually strengthen their perception within football by having a legendary football figure overseeing their football umbrella. They can adopt his ideas, DNA, and way of thinking. I feel like this is the natural evolution for the super football managers that have achieved at the highest level, integrating themselves within a company where they can pass on their knowledge and insights. And we all know a company's dream is to have those people in leadership positions that embody the characteristics of the great sports managers and coaches, as that's what will enable the company to go to the next level. Companies admire the attributes of football managers like Klopp, Fergie, Mourinho, Ancelotti, and Pep Guardiola, trying to emulate their way of operating and thinking. There's a reason why the top universities across the world invite the top football managers to speak to their students in order to spread their knowledge about management, operations, strategy, and leadership. Klopp led Liverpool to their first league title in 30 years. He's a person that embraces challenges and doesn't run away from being an underdog in any given situation. Like winning the 2 league titles with Borussia Dortmund in an era where Bayern were basically winning the league almost every year, and even took them to the final against Bayern in 2013, where they ultimately lost. But it was still a big deal because Dortmund hadn't been to the Champions League final since 1997, where they beat Juventus. 2013 was their second appearance in a Champions League final ever. In football, you have great managers and you have great coaches. What makes Klopp special is that he's a great hybrid of both. Klopp's coaching style is about counter-pressing, quickly regaining possession of the ball after losing it, making it hard for the other team to have a counter-attack. It's all about intensity with Klopp's coaching philosophy, constantly pressing opponents into mistakes, and every player is involved in winning the ball back. There's a little heavy metal element in his football where Klopp's teams disrupt the other team with constant attacking pressure and quick transitions. It's all about being unpredictable and dynamic. The team is always moving forward and looking for ways to attack. He makes sure that they have that rebellious energy and spirit. Klopp's teams would also involve vertical football, flexible formations, and high defensive lines. As a manager, Klopp was able to mold players like Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Firmino, Virgil van Dijk, Robert Lewandowski, Mario Götze, and Marco Reus. He has the ability to motivate players and create a sense of belief in them, encouraging and pushing them through difficult moments. Klopp leads through his charismatic personality and emotional intelligence. On the sideline, he's passionate, shouting instructions, celebrating when his team scores, and having a deep connection with his fans. He motivates his players to match his intensity. As a manager, he's shown that he cares about his players' well-being and is generally down to earth and doesn't take himself too seriously, which has led to his players being loyal to him and fighting for him. Klopp definitely knows how to bounce back when his teams have been behind in big games, like the Champions League semi-final in 2019, being 3-0 down in the first leg to Barcelona, but bouncing back in the second leg and then ultimately winning it all in the final against Tottenham. This takes resilience, knowing how to motivate your players and coaching staff, not being consumed by the moment. Leaders and companies need to know how to motivate their employees and create a culture of winning. Klopp may also want to have a role that's business driven, Working with a great brand like Red Bull is the perfect match, as Klopp is the perfect PR brand person. He knows how to tell stories and drive a narrative that he wants people to focus on. Maybe this is the path that top managers can take when stepping away from the highly competitive and fast-paced football manager life. Whether this is something he'll do for a long time or until he's able to eventually manage Germany post 2026 World Cup, it will be interesting to see the impact that he has on the Red Bull football umbrella.